Hello and welcome back to The Lion's Den. I'm your host Matt, as always, and it is week 32, so you know what that means? Absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's just another week of the year, and I'm hoping that you're all doing fantastic. So let me start you off with a random thought I had the other day whilst I was having breakfast, and it's to do with the classic Spyro games. So Spyro the Dragon, he was much of my childhood, I'd say. I originally played the second and the third game, so that's blimey, what's it called? Gateway to Glimmer, as it's called in the UK, and Year of the Dragon. I played both of them extensively as a child. Absolutely loved them to bits. That's why I was then very excited when they did the Reignited trilogy, but we'll come back to that. I loved 2 mostly, I think. 2 was my favourite, and it was specifically because of the hub worlds. I absolutely loved the hub worlds. And you know that question when people say, oh, if you could live in any video game universe, where would you live? I always say Spyro 2 because Autumn Plains is just absolutely gorgeous. The atmosphere, the music, the visuals, it's just beautiful. And I was really excited when the Reignited trilogy came out because I was like, I can look at this in like 2020 standards of graphical quality. This is amazing. So, very happy. But that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is that in Spyro 3, I kind of cheated. So at the very end of the game, there is a door or a portal to a secret bonus area with a bunch of just extra stuff in that you can have fun and do. Now, the requirement to get into this secret area is that you have to collect all of the gems and all of the eggs throughout all of Spyro 3, which is fairly easy because you know it's a PS1 game and it's designed for kids. So it's not too difficult, but it will take you some time. But as a kid, I kind of struggled and I couldn't figure out where the final gems were. And at that point, I didn't know there was the trick with Sparks where you can make him point to where there are gems within a level. So what I did is I cheated. There's a cheat code that would allow you to teleport into the final area, and then essentially I collected enough gems that pushed me over the limit to require you to get into it. So by the time I then hopped back out, I had enough gems, even though I hadn't collected all of the gems from the main game. I'd collected extra gems from the bonus area. So that's quite fun. I'm so glad about the Reignited trilogy. That was my chance to play Spyro 1. Up until that point, I'd never played Spyro 1, which kind of was sad to me because, to me, my entire life, my knowledge of Spyro was 2 and 3. So, you know, all of the different species that you go and see, the whole dragon egg thing in the third one. I had absolutely no reference with the first one where you have to go and save all of the dragons from Nasty Nork, which was then very confusing because when you play Spyro A Hero's Tale, which is like Spyro 5, I think in the chronology, he's like the first boss. I didn't know who he was when I was a kid because I'd never played Spyro 1, so that's quite funny. Moving swiftly on to another video game, Mini Motorways. That name might be familiar to some of you if you've paid attention to the internet recently, but I honestly got sucked into this very hard. So I saw a lot of people on YouTube playing it. That's how I was initially introduced to it. And specifically, it's the real civil engineer because I found this hilarious that he is a actual civil engineer. He's qualified and everything. He's also called Matt, and he's also from the UK. And I was just sat there thinking, this is me on an alternate timeline, but also here. So this is really funny. And I watched him playing this game, and I just thought that looks really quite fun. So I managed to pick it up on sale with Mini Metro because it's by the same company, and I got it for basically 20p more than the price of Mini Motorways. So I thought, well, that's a no-brainer then because it basically makes both of them 3 odd quid, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a nice puzzle game. It's quite chill. The music is that kind of atmospheric and stuff, and it's satisfying with all the blings and bloops and whatnot. It's steady, but it does get very hectic towards the end when everything's starting to fall apart, when you're at the point where the system you have created is not coping with the demand and it is all just falling apart. So there's that kind of rush in the last maybe 3 minutes where you're going, I've got to fix everything, but you can't really fix anything because you needed to have fixed it about 20 minutes ago. But hey ho, it's satisfying though. I think that's the thing that draws me in, is it's very satisfying to plug everything together and then have this absolutely hectic looking map, but it's working. Things are flowing decently well and you're making progress. It's interesting because when I first started the game, I just kind of went through all of the levels slowly but surely, and I would average maybe 1200 points, which isn't bad. I'd have some levels where I'd absolutely crash and burn and get 600, 700 points. But now I'm going back through it after having seen like a couple videos online, and I'm averaging more like 2200. I'm quite proud of myself personally because I don't understand how to do better. I just am. So my goal currently is I'm going back playing through all of the levels and trying to get at least 2000 or close to 2000. But generally, once you've hit the 2000 mark, you kind of go a little bit above. And then I notice basically what I'll see is one of them starts struggling, one of the like areas that you're trying to get to. I'll pause, try and fix a solution in, and then the minute I hit play, everything falls apart. Literally everything, and I'll go, oh, everything is struggling now. Help! What do I do? And at that point, I just kind of go, it's probably a bit late now. I'll just let it go. So yeah, it's not too expensive. Plus, Steam has sales pretty much 24/7. So eventually the game will come back around on sale so you can just pick it up again. So yeah, if you like that kind of slow, steady puzzle game, go for it. It's quite interesting. On the topic of cars, driving, I love driving personally. I will drive purely for pleasure. I will take my car out, go drive for an hour, and come back home. Having gone absolutely nowhere, I'll just go on a loop out from my house and then back some way. Or I'll just make an excuse to go trip out to a supermarket and buy maybe an apple or a drink or something and then come back. Because I really like driving, and I think a good thing is in the UK we drive manuals, which is even more satisfying because you have the whole control, you do the gears shifting and everything, and you can rev your engine really high if you want, or you can do perfect smooth changes and stuff. I just love it. But the problem is I'm not really a petrol head, so I'm not kind of really interested in super high performance cars and modifying the engine to get more horsepower and torque and all of that stuff. But I enjoy driving, and I pride myself on being a decent driver. I bay park my car with decent proficiency. Most people, once they've finished in the UK, so a bit of a clarification, in the UK, you were taught how to parallel park and bay park. Bay park is when you reverse into parallel bays. You are never taught to pull into bays. That is something that you just do when you're not required to do it for your test. But I never learnt that. I never learnt how to pull into bays, so I just bay park instead because it's way easier and way more useful when you come to then leave because your car's pointing forward and you can see exactly what's coming. So the only problem with driving is it's stressful. It is stressful to no end because you are not battling driving the car, you're battling other people. Other people are stupid and will do the wrong thing most of the time. So this happened to me yesterday, I think. I was driving home from the gym and I was literally on the main road about to pull into the estate where my house is. Now, this is a right turn off of a main road, so I have to cross oncoming traffic. So I stopped and there's a couple cars coming up. Now there's about 3 cars and then a significant gap behind them before then another set of cars was coming. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait. The dude at the front of the first set of 3 cars decided they're going to slow down and try and flash me to pull into the side road. Now I hate this because it's not what you're supposed to do. You are not taught to stop on a main road to let people into a side road. That's not how it works, and that will disrupt the flow of traffic, and it's too dangerous because you could cause like people behind you to not know what you're doing and maybe overtake because they think you're slowing down for some reason, and then they'll collide with me who's trying to turn into the road. It's a nightmare. So I was just a bumhole, and I just sat there basically until the guy went past, and I saw him as he drove past sort of exasperated, like, oh, why did you not drive into the street when I let you? But that's one of my biggest pet peeves is people don't follow the rules of the road, and they're designed to be there to help, 1, with safety, but 2, traffic flow. If you don't follow the rules of the road, you're screwing up traffic flow. My other second biggest pet peeve is roundabouts. Brilliant invention. Roundabouts. They help with traffic flow, provided the people that use them correctly. So the way you're supposed to use a roundabout is you give it, because we drive on the left, you give way to any oncoming traffic from the right. So so imagine like a 4-way roundabout. You're coming up, there'll be an entrance to the right, the left, and straight across. Let's say you want to go straight across, but there's someone to the right. You let the person from the right go around the roundabout. Easy enough, and then you can come on after them. But the thing you need to do is indicate. You need to indicate to tell me which exit you are using. If you don't, I can't get on the roundabout, because if you say want to go straight across from me, I will collide in you. But if you want to get on the exit where I'm actually trying to get on, well, you can get off and I can get on at the same time. But you have to indicate to tell me that that's what you're doing. But people don't, and then it's really annoying, because you end up in a situation where you have to stop completely because you don't know, but you potentially could have just rolled straight onto the roundabout had you known that they were going to get off. It's honestly my biggest frustration, because it's like, it's a simple thing, but people don't know how to do it. Anyway, rant over. I hope you've all enjoyed listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay safe out there. Bye.